Hello YouTube fans, here again, and I realise, why not, to Equalizer. This is, if I remember rightly, could be right and wrong, episode 16, series 1. Yep, I'm still doing the Equalizer with my mate Edward Woodward. I've got to admit, after watching 14 and 15, which I thought was garbage, I cannot lie, I thought they was shit. You had the Coffin Man. And the only decent thing about that is one of the actors, as we all know, the actor that did Tucker before he became the Joe, he was in it. And the second one, which was 15, I actually fucking spies series 15, episode 15, I spies it. He goes for all this shit and he helps them out. And you already know it. They all walk off. Oh, it was a mistake. We all walk off. Wow. But this one's a step up because I actually like the actor in it. I always remember him playing the Bond villain. Santos, I remember his name was Santos. He's one of the actors never ever gets noticed. When you think of Bond villains, you think of Blofeld, you think of Goldfinger, you think of Dr. No. Fair enough. You think of Jaws, the guy with the metal teeth. But nobody ever questions this villain. You think of Mayday, you think of films like that. But nobody ever questions this villain. Santos, to me, was the best villain. And you all remember him in License to Kill. I always liked this actor. I liked him when he did Predator 2. I liked him when he did Maniac Chop 2 and 3. I like him. He's a good actor. He's very good at playing good guys, and he can play a villain. And in this, he definitely doesn't disappoint playing somebody you love to hate. So that's why I sort of like this one. I feel it's a step up from 15 and 14, I thought was a piece of shit. I can't lie. So you've got this guy, they work the ring to Tina's, one of them almost has an accident, and you think at first it is an accident, but you've got the guy, like I just said, he's an arsehole, he's running it, you've got an idea, he's with drug dealers and so on. And there's another actor who I like, who's sadly no longer with us. If you ever remember the original Rocker, and he played a lone sack, and Rocky worked for him in Rocky 1. He also appeared in Rocky 2. He never appeared in any of the others, but he was in Rocky 1 and 2. And a lot of people might remember the actor in the original Maniac. Never seen Maniac? Damn good film. He's sad to say he's no longer with us, may he rest, but he's actually in this. And to me, he feels like he's playing the same sort of character, like a lone sack. Which I thought was funny because he played a lone sack in Rocky 1 and 2. And you got the idea this guy owes him money, and so he's basically met with a bit of fists in himself, and so on. So they end up calling the Equalizer because the police don't do diggity d. And you sort of feel sorry for this guy. He's trying to help the company out. Nobody gives a fuck. They're all selfish. So what does he do? He starts a fight with the main villain. Big mistake. He's a bit of a coward, really, because he used a thick knife. And I think this was ballsy for a show. This was ballsy for a TV show, because you don't see a lot of blood. Don't forget, made for TV. But you got the idea he stabs him, kills him, makes it look like he tried to attack him to cover his own back. So then what happens is the Equalizer gets involved. He says, you're not going to do it this way. I've got another way to dissolve it. I very few it does. Being the Equalizer, he's just the main villain. A lot of shit, which I love. There's a bit where the nanny, who's on the Tina, so he's helping the Equalizer. She stays at his place because she's trying to get her house. She's got these kids, really bratty. But I do love the bit where you got a few of the characters from the other episode. He gets them involved, says you got to be careful now, on your head be it, and they pretend to be drug dealers to get a main villain. But I was about to say, this is a villain you'll love to hate because you've got the idea, you don't see it again. That would repeat himself. You got the idea he's a woman beater because you see his dirt fence, you've got a black eye, but again, you don't see it because it's made for TV. But you think, what a scumbag. So not only is he a coward to kill someone with a thick knife, he's also a woman beater. So it's definitely a character you'll love to hate. So there's bits here, bits there. Like there's a funny bit where he goes to this nightclub. It's very racist. That reminds me of Live and Let Die. And people might think, Pete, why are you saying the Equalizer reminds you of the Bond film Live and Let Die? Well, let me get to it. If everyone remembers the scene where Roger Moore goes to the Bronx and he goes in this bar, it's full of people of a different race, so don't become unpolitically correct. And the very racist, it's the area that me, being a white man, was to go to, I'd be massacred. They wouldn't just beat me, they'd kill me. And this guy's warning the Equalizer, you don't want to be in this bar because of the same thing. That's what I'm on about. But he meets the woman's had enough, so they set the main villain up. He thinks they're drug dealers, they're not drug dealers, and he gets caught by the police, gets arrested, uses his powers, so be it. But there's a funny bit in it before all that. There's a funny bit because the main guy, like I say, he died through a Sylvester Stallone films. A lot of people like remember him as the Lone Sark as well as Maniac. He has these guys, they rough him up, and he's saying, don't hit the face, don't hit the face. But they're hitting him in the stomach, and I'm thinking, what the fuck's that? What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? But like I said, there's a bit where he gets caught, the Equalizer helps him out, and he walks off he might as well walk off in the sunset, but he doesn't. He walks off, and you get the tacit ending of the Equalizer. So I like this episode. I think it was a step up from 15. Definitely think it was a step up from episode 16. Well, it is episode 16. Duh. I mean, it was a step up from episode 14, I meant to say. Somebody slammed the door downstairs, so I do apologise for that if you heard it. But it was a step up from 14. It was a step up from 15. I feel like episode 16 was a step up from them two. So this one's definitely not a rant. Like I said, I like the actor that played the villain. He's one of them actors. He's one of them. He could be a really, really good guy, and he can really, really play a really, really good bad guy. And in this, I feel we really played a good performance. To me, it's like Santos before Santos from License to Kill. But yeah, I think this was a bitty good one. I feel it was a step up from the other two, which I felt was a letdown. It's just me. People like that episode. Fair enough. I just didn't like the episodes. And even the villains were that intimidating. Even the other film was that intimidating. There was nothing to the story. But this, I feel it was a step up. But I think Edward Woodward may rest. I still think he plays a good role as the Equalizer. You could definitely see why they did about 3 seasons of it after this one. Yeah, I think it was a step up. So into them, be smart, be safe. This was a hell of a lot better than them two. I look forward to doing series 17 when I get to it, and then hopefully get to series 2. But into them, be smart, be safe. See you later.